The German Gerena Community School in the North End of Springfield serves 700 students. Over the years, the tunnel accessing the school, which runs under Interstate 91, has been plagued by leaks. The tunnel connects both sides of the North End community, and many consider the school vital to that area. Now, both city and state representatives are asking the Mass DOT to make the repairs a priority. Carolee McGrath sat down with State Representative Gonzalez to get the latest on the situation.
Years and years ago, when they built the school, there was two communities. When they built the highway, there was two communities, one on the Main Street side and one on the Plainfield side. There was a necessity to continuously unite those communities, and that's why I think it was determined that a tunnel was feasible to do, and that's when they started building the school. That being said, the agreement stipulated that, the Department of Public Works, Mass DOT now, who owns the property, leased the property to the city of Springfield, and they would not be held responsible for any repairs from that point on for that school. Now, me and other state legislators continue to push on Mass DOT and see how we can assist in those efforts. So after July, we finally find the agreement that they released to us, stating what their responsibilities were, and then they agreed to do some of the design and assistance necessary to kind of get to where the membrane is and to do some of those repairs.
And that's where the problem is in the tunnel.
According to what we were last told, okay. That's where the problem is. And there's three components to that tunnel. There's not just one tunnel. There's three sections to that tunnel. So, the issue of the design, the issue of the design for what section of the tunnel, and then the internal repairs after the leak is stopped is what we're trying to address now.
And there was just another meeting recently as well, following up on that July meeting?
Yes. Well, one issue, there was a meeting, and me and State Senator James Welch, we just kind of impressed upon Mass DOT for agreeing back in July that they would make every effort possible to assist in the design work and whatnot. So we're just pushing on them to continue those efforts as quickly and feasible as possible.
Now, the city has spent millions of dollars over the last several years fixing different things, general maintenance and other types of repairs. But it appears that as you look back through the last 20 years or so, it just seems like a chronic problem. It has to be frustrating for parents sending their kids to school, and really for everybody involved.
Yeah, it's been a chronic problem. Again, my daughter was at Gerena School many years ago. Today she's 24 years old. So I know the frustration as parents, the frustration for the community, and realistically, difficult situation for the city, because it is city property, right, to address this. And I think that's where we're trying to push to impress upon the state how we can assist in those efforts to assist the city and remedy this problem for once and for all. And I think the key to that is to make sure where's the leak coming, and then so when the city does finalize those repairs, that hopefully they can hold on.
But is there an alternative way, if you got rid of the tunnel, let's just say, how would people get across to the other side? Well,
the tunnel is not only a tunnel that people cross, it's also a community center. The New North Citizens Council has office there. There's a cafeteria that's being utilized by the school.
By the school, right.
And there's community rooms that were designed for that specific purpose.
But they're not all being used, right?
That are not being used. They're
right.
just storage now.
Right.
And it's because of the potential for the continuation of the leakage,
right,
and whatnot. So there's a misuse of city property there, and hopefully it can be quickly resolved to address the leak issue as well as address the long-term issues.
But is there a different remedy for the community rather than fixing the tunnels? I mean, we spoke when we did our series a few years ago to some members of the community who said, you know what, plug up the tunnels, get rid of the school, it's old, and build something new. Is that realistic? Is there another way around that you're able to connect those neighborhoods?
Again, I strongly believe as a state representative, I represent the people. And I've heard many different positions on that matter, from remove the school, put a new school in there, put a new tunnel, etc. But I think for the most part, I'm hearing that the community really is expecting for this issue to be repaired, that it can go back to its use of those community spaces. And I think that as a state representative, I'm going to push for every effort to make sure that the people's voices are heard and they get what they, I believe, a long time ago needed to have and deserve.